After spending the last few months living in Vietnam and eating my body weight in banh mi and almost getting run over 3 times a day by an oncoming motorbike, I've decided it's time to pack my bags and move back to Malaysia. Don't get me wrong, Vietnam is great, but Malaysia to me just feels much more like home, and in this video I'm gonna tell you why. Look, Vietnam is incredible. The energy, the motorbikes, the coffee that makes Red Bull look like a glass of warm milk. It's the most popular country in the region right now. Everyone's moving there. You see the TikToks, the Instagram reels. You can't open YouTube without seeing a video of someone saying why I moved to Da Nang in Vietnam. That might have been me. But here's the truth. Living in Vietnam long term is not as easy as everyone wants to make out, and definitely not realistic for 80% of people. The more I stayed in Vietnam, the more I realized that Malaysia just suits my personality much better. Now look, I don't want to put you off if you love Vietnam and you're invested in Vietnam. Definitely it's for you. But for me, if you're like me, then Malaysia is more suitable. Okay, so in Vietnam, you have two modes. You will switch between chaos and absolute chaos. Don't get me wrong, it can be fun and stimulating, but Malaysia just gives you much more options. One day you can be in KL, in the skyscrapers, the place to be. The next day you can be sipping coconuts on a hammock, but in a deserted beach. Depending on your mood, Malaysia will let you pick and choose what suits you at the time. I know Vietnam is massive and you can find different places, but the energy just doesn't stop. It's the same energy really throughout the country. If you had to ask me honestly, Malaysia just feels more balanced and has a wider array of options for each personality type. I would say Vietnam suits a particular personality. Maybe you like hustle and bustle, the entrepreneurial spirit and the fast pace. Vietnam will suit you, but for me, and for people like me, it can be overwhelming. The mood in Malaysia is way more calm, and even being in KL city centre sometimes can feel more relaxed than being in the suburbs of Dalat, for example. Okay, the culture. I'll be honest, Vietnam culture is not that easy to understand. It's advanced, I would say, compared to a lot of other cultures that I've seen. For us as Westerners especially, it will be the one where you'll really have to figure out why people are doing what they do. You won't understand a lot of things. And look, that's why we're traveling. For a tourist, that's what makes it so interesting. But living there, eventually you're going to need to understand the basic principles, and I really found it difficult. Number one, I've said it before, the language barrier is way tougher than most other countries you'll go to. Despite what people say to use Google Translate, it's not that easy. I would say social rules and social norms are very different to what we're accustomed to. You won't always understand why people are doing things. You'll feel a bit cold sometimes. In Malaysia, you'll feel like you understand what's going on much more. In Vietnam, I didn't know what was going on. For the whole time, I had no clue. It was fun, but eventually I got really tired. In Malaysia, it's the opposite. You'll understand the people. The people are very funny. English is widely spoken, so you can joke together. I would say the people are much more relaxed in Malaysia than in Vietnam. Vietnam has a real hustle culture. It's way more serious. It feels serious. Malaysia is very relaxed and chilled out. You feel much more involved in Malaysia, I would say. And it just feels familiar to me. And you know me, I like to laugh. I like to joke around. Some would say I'm not that serious. So Malaysia suits me much more than Vietnam, which I would say, even though I like the people and the people I got to know, we had a great time. But just in general, it's more serious. Okay, the food. This one's dangerous because both countries are very proud of their food. And the food is incredible. But Malaysia is just that level above, in my opinion. And basically, I just like the array of food and the diversity of food that you can get in Malaysia compared to Vietnam. Some people say the Vietnamese food is bland. I don't think it's bland. It's just very minimal choice. I could have said that a lot better. There's much less options available. you'll find yourself eating very similar meals. It's all based around maybe the soups, the noodles, and the banh mi, which, don't get me wrong, are delicious. But in Malaysia, you just have everything under the sun available to you, and it's all delicious. You have the Chinese food, the Indian food, of course, the Malay food, fusions of things you've never even heard of. Every meal feels like a new experience, whereas in Vietnam, you start to get to know, you start to know what you're going to get. Maybe the novelty wears off after a while. Malaysia's more like a all-you-can-eat buffet. Whatever you want on the day is available to you. No questions asked. So for me, and of course you might have different experiences, but everything in Malaysia just works easier for me. Vietnam likes to keep you on your toes. There's motorbikes everywhere that if you're not really hyper clued in, you're going to get killed. The visas aren't that easy, even though I believe they're improving and will improve in the future. Even getting a SIM card I found really difficult. Small things in Vietnam just will cause friction. For me, I found it very hard to get into the flow. Every day there was some challenge. Now look, that's part of living abroad, but when it's constant, it just gets a bit draining. You want at least some things to go your way to keep incentivized, and some days you'll just feel that nothing is going your way, and it's not. I would say Malaysia's the total opposite. Malaysia just feels smooth. As soon as you land, you'll feel comfortable. Everything works well. The transport is great. There's no apps crashing every 5 minutes that you need to use. For me, long term, that's what matters. Now, some things, the small things seem trivial, but over time it builds up and eventually you're going to want things to work for you. And Malaysia just works much more in my favor. Okay, people will disagree with me on this point, but Malaysia just feels way much more fun to me. I really enjoy being here all the time. Just being here, looking out the window, I feel great. I feel very privileged to be here. Vietnam, I felt like I was in a battle that I had to survive. It wasn't as fun as I expected. At times, Vietnam felt very serious. And it sounds funny, but sometimes you'll walk into a restaurant or you'll walk into the phone shop or the hotel and it will feel like you're at a funeral. And I'm not saying it's wrong, that's just the societal norm. But for me, it feels very different to my personality. I want people to be enjoying themselves. I want to enjoy myself. Malaysia has that for me, that people are much more relaxed and open to joking around. The mix of cultures makes every day very interesting. You can make friends with people from all sorts of different cultures, speak several different languages, and you'll be able to connect with them much more easily. Vietnam was the most difficult and the most lonely I felt. Cambodia was way easier to connect with locals. Malaysia, obviously. Vietnam is not that easy. Don't get me wrong, a lot of you will have fun in Vietnam, but it feels like it's always turned on. It's more of a sprint. In Malaysia, you can go to the dance floor, dance for a while, go to the bar, get a drink of water, sit down on the couch. You're able to go with the flow more in Malaysia. In Vietnam, it's always intense. Look, don't get me wrong, Vietnam is an incredible country. I'd recommend anyone to go and see it once. It's the most talked about destination right now, and rightfully so. But I definitely think people should differentiate between a tourist destination and a place to actually set up shop and integrate long term. I think it is one of the best tourist destinations in the world right now to go. It's one of the most difficult destinations to go and become an expat. That's the fairest way. That was my conclusion after living there for a while. Malaysia just suits my personality better. I understand the culture more. Life is smoother here. I have more fun here. I talk to more people. I joke around. I feel far less alone in Malaysia than I did in Vietnam. And for most people, especially beginners, if you're new to moving abroad, you want to try Asia, don't even think about Vietnam. Malaysia is the place to start. It's the perfect balance between Eastern and Western cultures. It has a mix of all the cultures, and then obviously it's extremely developed, which makes it just so easy to stay here. So yeah, that's it guys. I'm saying goodbye to constant near-death experiences on the roads of Vietnam, and I'm going back to Malaysia where I feel just a little bit more at home. Vietnam is getting all the love right now. It's really highly rated, but just be wary that just because it's the most popular place doesn't mean that it will suit you or be that easy to move to. Malaysia is totally underrated. Maybe just give it a try. If you're serious about moving to Asia, but you're a confused beginner, you need to know everything that I know. It's all in the Move to Asia blueprint in the box below. I put everything in there that I know, all my mistakes, all about the different countries. Everything you need to know is in there. Check out also the Ultimate Asia Survival Guide ebook. Again, more concise country overviews and plus funny stories to laugh at me and my mistakes. What else have we got? Oh yeah, get the Move to Asia cheat sheet in the box below. It's free. It's a quick overview of all the countries in Asia. Check it out, see which one suits you. That's it guys. Yeah, that's my brutally honest opinion. I really enjoyed Vietnam, but it was a battle to live there. I can never see myself living there, just only going as a tourist. Malaysia, you could live here. Malaysia, I could live here forever. And you meet a lot more people that have stayed here for 20, 30 years. Actually, every day you meet someone who's been here for at least 20 years. At the buffet last night, a guy was telling me he's lived here 20 years, never looked back. So give it a try, see what suits you. Anything else? Oh yeah, like, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. I need all the help I can get here. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, okay, the back is doing well. Doing a bit of training.